Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this flip flap shutter card. I have put my own spin onto the very first one I saw of these. I'm not going to say the original because the original was by a gentleman, I believe. I will try and find out who it was and put it in the box below so you know. What happens is this opens up. Okay, isn't that absolutely delightful? And what I've done with mine is I've actually put it onto a card base so that this is a, same as last week, it's a 7x5, and this one I will not be able to convert to an A2 or a C6 size card. You can make this and just keep it at this size, which for any A4 it will, if you use an A4 cardstock, it will fit into the Stampin' Up envelope because it actually measures, let's see, up to the grey bit, so that's upside down, no wonder you're looking confused. 5 7/8 by 4 1/8. That is obviously, goes over the top. You'd need to think about what you were going to do about that. But otherwise it will, and that size is just a tad too long for the American size envelopes. I don't know whether you could just trim bits off the outside. It's not something I'd like to get involved in because let me tell you the story of how I got into doing this card. It was requested by a friend of mine who's a member in my team, Carrie. She asked me, she sent me a link which made this size card. But I wasn't happy with this because I feel that it is just too flimsy. It bends too easily, and this is double thick cardstock. And did I double thick that one? No, that one is just single thickness, but another one I did do double thick. But there was something not right about the sizing with these, with the scoring and what have you, so I wasn't happy with that. But not to be one that gives up easily, I had another go and I worked out what I thought was wrong with that size, so I corrected it, or at least what I thought was corrected, but then it leaves this coming right over the edge there. I mean, it doesn't matter, I mean it does still work, but it just didn't seem to be right. And again, it's flimsy. This is a lot stiffer. That one's got our thick cardstock on the back of it, but it's a, as I say, it's a funny size. The final, oh no, this was one I did in between this and that because I actually pulled out one of my pieces here so that I made a bigger one, try it in there, and then I thought, yeah, that'll fit. So then I went on to make that one, but no, still not happy. I like this, I think it looks lovely, but it's just too flimsy. So then I went on to this size. The first one that I made like this was this one, which I was happy with. I like this. Okay, and this one is also on a card base. So this is what I'm going to show you how to make today. Changing my colour scheme, as I do tend to, and I'm going to start off by telling you the card pieces that you're going to need. So the card is a 7" by 5" card, and they are the only measurements, together with the metric measurements, that I'll be putting in the box below. I'm sure you appreciate that to take that down to a C6 or C5, that's getting a little bit on the small side, and the smaller these goes, the more difficult it gets to actually do some images for it. So the card base I've used is Blushing Bride, and this measures 7" by 10", scored and folded at 5". And then you need 2 pieces of, well, that's a bit crumpled, isn't it? Oh, that's all right, most of that gets covered up. 2 pieces of basic white, which measure 6 3/8 inches by 4.5 inches. I'll repeat that, 6 3/8 inches by 4.5 inches, and you need 2 pieces. And then you need 3, what am I calling this piece, for the shutter base, 3 pieces, all that measure 5 7/8 inches by 4 1/8 inches. You see, this is what I mean. You could actually cut that bit down and keep your flats the same size, but I don't know how flimsy that would be. Okay, so it's 3 of those. And then you need, for the actual shutter flaps, you need 3 of these, and these measure 4 1/8 inches by 2 1/8 inches. And then the Designer Series paper, this I'm using is from Sweet Talk. Now you want, oh, I lost some. Oh, here we go. So you need 3 of this smaller size in Design 1, and these are 2 3/4 by 1 3/8 inches. And then Design 2, again 3 pieces, and again 2 3/4 inches by 1 3/8 inches. And then back to Design 1 again, which is going to go on the inside of the card, as these are on the inside of the shutter bit, and that's inside the shutter flaps. And these measure 4 inches by 1.5 inches. You will need scraps for your sentiments and whatever else you're going to use to decorate with. This one I used something of Good Fortune Designer Series paper. On my blog, the day that this goes live, which will be tomorrow, and the date for tomorrow will be the 6th of February, I'll put the ingredients of what I've used on this one. In fact, if I can remember the ingredients of that one as well, I'll put the ingredients of that one. So you will need scraps of basic white for your sentiment, your images, and the little arrows. Okay, those little there. I found those on one of my sets of dies. I'll show you which one. And you need some scraps of your cardstock to make the little pulley bit as well, if you're going to do exactly the same as what I've done. If you're going to squeeze it up a bit to get into an American size envelope, I would suggest you use ribbons or something that you can move out of the way just to slide it into the envelope. Right, so to start off with, I am going to, I don't know whether you noticed on both of these, but I have stamped on here and on here and on the outside there, okay, just to give it a little bit of pattern. So we start with this one. I am going to do the stamping on just one sheet. I'm going to stamp on a piece of paper. I'm actually using Versamark, alright, and my pad is dirty, really dirty, but it doesn't stop Versamark being efficient. Okay, that should be white. So what I'm doing is I've chosen a stamp from, in fact, let me tell you the dies and the stamp sets I'm using. I'm using this stamp here, which is Friendly Hello, which is available as a bundle as a celebration gift at level 2, because it comes with a pack of Designer Series paper as well. This is an absolutely gorgeous set. It is level 2, but it really is worth it. It's beautiful. And for my sentiments, I used the Best Wishes and the Happy Birthday from Art Gallery. The sets of dies I've used, I used Stitched So Sweetly, that little one there, for my pulley tab. I used and I'll be using these again, the Pierced Blooms for the flowers and the leaves on that one. And my arrows actually came from Give It a Whirl. There are 2 wallets to these dies, because there's also the big one here. So yeah, that's the one I've used there. This is a die set that I will keep forever, purely and simply for those arrow dies. What a useful little die that is. Plus the fact that by keeping those I can always do the turn on the card as well. So they're the dies and the stamp sets I'm using. Right, so to do this, all you need to do is stamp, ink and stamp. This will dry so that it is like tone on tone. You can use Blush and Bride ink and you will get a darker effect than this. At the moment you can't see very much, but it does dry darker. And although this is sticky, it's a sticky ink pad, well, a sticky glue pad really, I suppose, and it's what we use for heat embossing, it doesn't leave your cardstock sticky. Now I'm only going around the outside here because we're going to be cutting the centre out on this top one so that we can fit our shutters in there. I just like to turn my stamps around a little bit. I don't like the stalks coming off the edge, but they can go onto the inside because they're going to be covered up, or at least on this one they're going to be cut out. Okay, so there's that one. And then I'm going to do the front of my card as well, again, just round the outside. Now I'm keeping this closed because I don't want anything going on the top here. Even with that dirty Versamark, or at least a dirty pad, it is quite difficult to see where I've gone before. But if I overlap, it doesn't matter. It's only more leaves on top of leaves. Just have a look through your stamp sets to see which stamps you think will be ideal for this. Any kind of flower, or even like spotty stamps, like whether it's rain or snow or gravel or something, anything like that. Because you only see such a small amount that there's no point using a large stamp. I'd like to say thank you to everybody for the responses that I had last week. I have to say I was very surprised exactly how popular the larger size stamp cards are. As I said last week, when I first started card making, I always did the larger size cards, and it was only when I went to became a Stampin' Up demonstrator that I went to the smaller sizes. So I appreciate all your feedback on that one. There we go, that's coming through nicely. Now if you want to do that on the inside of your card as well, which I have already done, save us a little bit of time, okay, I suggest what you do is if you fold that back so that you can stamp again and it doesn't come on there. It doesn't matter really if it comes on there, but to my OCD, if you like, to me it looks untidy. But if it doesn't worry you, don't let me make you start getting worried about it. Right, so that can go on one side, that's all done. I'm going to bring this back and this, and I'm going to adhere two of these together, and this is part of thickening these up. And I think two of these together is probably thicker than having one layer of thick white cardstock. I might be wrong, but I didn't want to use white, so two layers of this is great. And when you do this, what I really recommend you do is just put Tombow on the outside 1/2 inch all the way round. Don't put any on in the centre, because we are actually going to cut the centre bit out. And if you don't put glue on it, when the centre comes out, you'll be able to save those two pieces and use them for another project. As you know, when I'm making cards and I'm using, say, foil as a middle layer, whoops, or something, I don't like cutting out the centre, although it's a great way to be economical with your foil. I just don't like the idea that maybe if it gets wet in the post, if the postman drops it or something, the layers will start falling apart. But I am still basically economical, or at least I like to think that I'm economical, so if I can save these bits, I will do. Okay, so there's that on there. Is this my patterned piece? Oh, where's my patterned piece? Oh, that's it. Okay, so that's got to go on there. If you've used Tombow, it's quite easy to manoeuvre this. You've got a little bit of leeway. There we go. Can you see how this is getting more obvious now, the pattern, as it's drying out? But it really is not sticky at all. So there's this one. What do I need to do next? That will be going onto there. I think while I'm allowing that to dry, and the only reason I'm doing that is if I have gone a bit further than I wanted to go, I don't want my blade to go through wet glue. I don't know whether it will mess it up or not. I'm just being cautious. Now with these, you've got 3 of these. Now I have already prepared my 3, okay, but I'm going to do one with you. Once you've seen one, you don't want to sit and watch me do 3 of them, one after the other, because it's quite straightforward. Now I'm going to score this, and when I'm doing scoring like this, I find it easier to use my scoreboard rather than my trimmer. And I still think that this is a very useful tool to have, even though I have my trimmer. Oh, I haven't got that in there, have I? Oh, okay. Well, this one actually comes with its own scoring tool, so I'm going to use this. Now, on all 3 of these, you do them the same. And I'm going to move this over just a little bit, otherwise it slides out of my hand. Now, on landscape side, and you must start this way, score at 5/8 of an inch, turn 90 degrees, score at 5/8 of an inch, turn 90 degrees again and score at 5/8 of an inch, turn again, but this time you need to score at 5/8, but just down to that first score line. Now you need to do the same on here. Now you can guess, I think it should be 5 of these along, but what I do is, as you can see on my scoreboard, I've drawn a line using a Sharpie pen at 6 inches. So I can put my score line there in my 6-inch track, and I know that I've got to score in that line there. Okay, it's just so much easier, it really is. Obviously if you were doing that on your trimmer, you would be able to just score that bit and then lift and then score down to that, because you're all on one track. But I just find that this is quicker for videos because I don't have to keep actually lining it up. It's so quick. Now what you need to do next with these, and part of this I'm going to use my trimmer. You may want to use freehand, just use your scissors. I did try it, but you know me in straight lines. We are not the best of friends. So first of all, I am going to be working on this one where you've got a score line going all the way across landscape. And you will see that you've also got little score lines there and there. So you've got little squares at the corner. Now what you need to do is cut this long bit out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up and up, and then I'm going to use my trimmer to cut that bit there. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up on this score line here, and I'm going to cut on the very outside edge of the actual score line, all right, on the outside edge. So this is right on the score line there, and I'm going to cut right on the edge of the score line on the left hand side on this one, and I'm just going as far as that score line there, and then I'm going to bring my trimmer over. And I've already taped this down so that it doesn't come in my way, because I'm going to line this up and then I'm going to tip my board so that I can see it is actually in right position. So I'm going to line this up at 5/8 of an inch, which is there, and I want to cut from there where that score line and that score line cross up to that there, where that one crosses with that one. That's where I want to cut, so that this comes out, and so I've got a beautiful straight line there. So I'm going to start cutting at 5/8 of an inch. Let me just double check. Yes, that's good. And I am going to come down to that should be 1/8. So that should be 4.5, I think, shouldn't it? 3.5 rather. Come down to 3.5. Yep, that's it. There we go. Alright, so that's that bit done. The rest I am going to do by hand. Looks like I could do with a new blade in there. But I think that might be all I need for that. As I say, I've already done 3 here. Right, let me just get back in again, make myself comfy. Now what we're going to do is on this long side, where we've got the score line going across and the score line coming down, we are going to cut on the bottom line upwards. Now if you remember, all the cutting that you do on these pieces are done on the landscape side. There's no cutting done on the portrait side, none at all. Now what I'm going to do here is I am going to cut on the outside line of the score line and then the inside line of the score line, and then cut it off so that I finish up with just a very small gap there. Okay, this is one of the mistakes I've made with my others. I've made that gap too big. It doesn't stop it working, but you can just see more than I would rather that you can see. Right, so on the outside edge of that score line, just up as far as the next score line, and then on the inside edge of that score line. There we go, that's beautiful. Come on, up you come. That's it. Okay, so you can see what small piece I've taken out from there. And I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to cut on the edge of the score line on the right hand side up to that score line, and on the edge of the score line again on the left hand side up to the score line, and then I'm going to cut that off. Okay, so that's what it should look like. So next what we're going to do is, now I could have prepared these ahead of time in as much as I could have done the folding of them. So we need to fold on the score lines. Okay, so that's the 2 end ones. Now when you do these, make sure that you get that lined up straight along there. There are 2 reasons for it. One is to make sure that your shutters are straight, but also if you allow them to go at an angle so that this bit, either end of the tabs, come above this, then they're going to stick out above the top of your card. Carrie first asked me to do this 3 years ago, in 2019 it was actually, and I did try it, but I gave up then because, as I say, I just felt it was just too flimsy. But I kept it in my folder of videos to be done, and on, was it Wednesday when I was looking at it, or Thursday, I started looking at it again and I thought, let's have a go. And it took me quite a long time. I've spent a long time working this one out. I've seen quite a lot of videos and done quite a lot of juggling, but I'm really happy with the result now. I hope you like it as well, Carrie. Not quite what you asked for because it's much smaller, but I'm sure you'll be happy. Whoops. Okay, each one of these I'm just making sure they are all straight. There we go. So now we need to sellotape our layers on. Now, screw that up a bit. This is going to go on your card base that way round, okay? So you want design 2, which is the front of your shutters, to go on there. So for me, that's these 3. If you want to use something like seal, that's fine. Whatever is your preferred method for adhering these things down. As you know, I'm totally Tombow on my card making and my gluing. Now when you put this on, you should have a little edge all the way round. Oh, that's better, yes. I did see some videos which said to mitre that line there, but obviously it made this look not quite straight, which is why I like to take just that little panel out. And just make sure, if you've got a directional pattern, just make sure that you've got your shutters up the right way. There we go. So that one's a little bit slanted. Can you see? I'm bring that up close to you. Have a look at both these ends. Okay, that one is correct, it's straight, and the DSP is straight, but that one has gone crooked because I cut that a bit crooked. There's not the proper gap there, but that's okay. I prefer it to be straight, but I'm not losing any sleep because it isn't. Now put this round the right way. That way, that's it. There we go, they're all straight apart from that one. Now what you need to do is, with all 3, turn them over the other way, and we're going to put design 1 on the top. Mine does have a right or wrong way, but on such small pieces you can't really see, so I'm not going to worry about it unduly. Now that must be the crooked one, look. I see that. Yes. keep it up that way. I can't see that it's got a right or wrong way to it. And then that one. God, that paper's all getting wrapped up. Let's see if I can find a clip to hold that down. Oops, sorry about that. A loud crash. Right. I'm going to put on the... We have a sandbox where we can put suggestions to Stampin' Up. And I'm going to put a suggestion that with these grid pads, which are fantastic, I'm going to suggest they put the glued end, not down the bottom here, because my elbow is just getting all this creased up. You can see it, can't you? Glue should be up, glue should be down this end, so that's the open end. So I'm going to put forward my suggestion. Find out whether it will happen or won't happen. They do pay attention to what the suggestions are that people come up with. And a suggestion like that, it's not a huge change, is it? Really. I can't imagine it would be too difficult to do. Have you noticed we very rarely ever get designer series paper that includes Blushing Bride? So it was nice to see it on here. Right, oh well, we do need the trimmer again, don't we? Now what did I decide? Oh, I know what I decided to do. Right, now I folded this bit of grid paper so that you could see what I'm doing. I used a ruler. Basically what I want to do is to make sure that I'm getting my cutting blade into the right position. I want to put some little pencil marks on here. And what I'm going to do is, if I line my card up along there so that you see that, now 5/8 from the bottom, okay, so that's lining up at an 1/8. So if I put there, that is 5/8, and I can make sure my ruler is nice and straight. I love this ruler. I know it's meant to be a quilter's ruler, but the beauty of it is, because you can see through it, you can see whether it's straight or not. Because as you know, I don't like getting my head in. Now 5/8 of going down is about there, and that's 5/8. Now coming down 5/8 is there. In fact, I'm going to come down 1/8, because then 5/8 will finish up on one of the lines, because these are every quarter. Quarter. Okay, so that's there, and 5/8 is to here, so that's about 5/8 down, and I'm going to do the same this way. So that's 6 inches. Let's do, bring down 1/8, make sure it's straight, and so that's down to there, and where these cross will be the 5/8 marks where I must start cutting. And then this one, 5/8 is there. Nope, let's move it up an 1/8, which is there. Make sure it's straight, lining up there, and 5/8, that must be there. Make sure it's nice and straight. Yep, that's good. There we go. I could have done one ahead of time and then pretended to have done one while I'm actually here with you, but if I make a mistake, then I need to be able to explain to you how to get over it. Okay, so I'm lining this up at 5/8 of an inch. I'm lining my cutting blade up at 5/8 of an inch and push that down, and then I am cutting down to, let me just double check this, in fact I didn't write it on this one, I wrote it on the other one. Okay, so what length is this? Shutter base is 5 7/8. Okay, 5 7/8. Take off 5, so it's 5 1/4. Oh, that looks about right. Now, because you've got 2 sheets here, just give it a little bit extra push. It doesn't need a huge amount. There we go. Brilliant. Pencil line to pencil line. So in at 5/8. Bring this up at 5/8. Excuse me, just keep tipping this up. Oh no, you don't want to see my head. Okay, so now we come down to, this is 4 1/8, so this is 3 1/2. Very fractionally over, but that's okay. 5/8. Line this up at 5/8. Yep. And down to whatever I said it was before. I think of 5 1/4, did I say? Up, turn it, 5/8. 5/8, and then down to 3 1/2. And what you should find is that will fall out. There we go, nearly. Okay, don't force it. Just get your scissors and snip it. You've come this far, you don't want to spoil it for, oops, there we go, for being impatient. Okay, so these 2 pieces you can use again. Okay, you've got this design on it. You can either use that design or just turn it over and remove your pencil marks. So you've saved all of that. Right, I'm going to use an eraser to get the pencil marks off. At the moment it looks like cut marks. So doing it the way I did, although it was a bit of a long-winded way, it does mean that I don't have too many pencil marks to remove. And it doesn't do any damage to the Versamark stamping that I've done either. There we go. Alright, so that's that. Now, if we take our base and we bring these 3 pieces back, that's the inside. This is my front design. So what I'm going to do is I am going to adhere these 2 little pieces here, that one into that corner and that one into that corner, and I'm going to make sure they line up beautifully. Okay. Oops, careful, careful. So let's do this first, and you do all 3 of these just like this. It's so easy. There's enough there for it to be wet, and as I push it down it'll spread out to make sure it's glued all over. Okay, so that one goes down into that corner. Just make sure you've got your front design on the front there. And then pick it up just to make sure that it's all lining up beautifully. Make sure it's not coming over the edges at the back. There we go, so that's good. And then that one goes over. No, it doesn't. The little tabs go over. Then you get the second one. Make sure you've got your right design facing up. And then you make this line up against here. Just keep it a tad away, not much, just an absolute tad. And then we're going to stick that down and stick that down. The reason I like to leave just a tiny gap there is so that as you're opening and closing it, it's not scraping on the shutter next to it. Okay, so we start that off by lining it up, making sure that's lined up, that is lined up. Once I've glued this down, I'll bring it up to the camera so that you can see how close the two are together. Make sure that's all lined up. That is all lined up. Make sure it's not coming over the edge as well. Now I wonder if I can slip some paper in there so that you can see. There we go. You should be able to just about see some white paper in between there. That's how close it is. Not actually touching, but... Right, so that's that one. Now the last one. Tabs up. Correct design. And again, leave a tiny, tiny gap there. You'll have about, that must be 5/8 of an inch, I'm assuming. Okay, so now we need to do these tabs as well. I'm just going to block this one. I think I might have got just a bit too much glue on there, and that one there. I don't want it to come oozing all the way out. Right, so first of all, line this up really nice and close, and make sure that that is lining up that edge, and that is lining up that edge. A bit closer. Top is okay. Bring the bottom out very slightly. And that's it. Oh no, there you go. That's it. Right, now before that dries, make sure that's in nicely. That's in nicely. Straight, straight. Okay. So there we go. There's our bits. Now at this stage, oh no, I know the next bit. Next bit we're going to pop these 3 pieces in. Okay. I don't know if... No, I'm not going to worry about whether there's designs there or not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put Tombow on the back here. And this is going to go on here. There's a small gap up at the top and at the bottom. Now that should still be opening. If it isn't, move it over there slightly. That one's going okay. That one's a little bit tight. Why are you complaining? I can't see. Why are you complaining? Oh, that's better. I don't know what was wrong there. So now another one in here. Okay, so line this one up against the edge here. Leave a slight gap top and bottom. Let's get that pressed down. That's not... Oh, what's that? I've got some glue there. That's not very happy. Oh, that's better. I don't think I had burnished it well enough. Okay, so that's good. Now it's a lot easier if you decorate the inside here before you assemble this bit together. Ask me how I know. Yep. Right, so that's going to be like that. This is the inside, and what did I do on the inside? Now I have already die cut all of these. I just want to show you what I've done with the best wishes there and the happy birthday. I have used a retired punch. As you know, I do struggle with straight lines, and on one of these I did actually just cut, yes, okay, I just cut those inside there, and it's not my best piece of work. It's okay, I'll still use the card, I will still send it to somebody, but it's not as good as it could be. So I just want to show you how I do this. As you know, I'm an advocate for keeping Stampin' Up products even when they retire. If you look at it and there is a reason for it, you think, oh, like the arrows for example, I will keep that. Otherwise, if it's something that is not easily come by, then it's well worth hanging on to it. I mean, I'll show you the two dies that actually got me into Stampin' Up. I can't believe it. When I first found out about Stampin' Up, I placed an order and I spent over £200. I wish I knew then what I know now. For £99 I could have... No, in fact I think it was 125 at the time. And you couldn't choose what you had in your bag, your starter kit. These are the two punches. That's the window punch. And that, I can't think what that fancy label punch or something. Absolutely brilliant. I saw so many videos, people using these, I just could not wait to get my hand on them. Now I've used these, but I wanted to split them up. So if you can cut a straight line, I wouldn't go to all this problem. I would just straight cut. I've seen loads of people do it. I just can't. So what I do is I line my second word up there, and then punch that. And then I go up to the birthday and line that up and punch that. And then, because that's a bit too close to try and punch out this side without losing part of it, I come over here and take the best on this side. Okay? And then I do the same for the happy. As you can hear, it sounds quite old, but I've been a demo for 10 years now, so. But this is Stampin' Up quality, it lasts. Right, oh, I still need you, come back. Now I have already done all these and they're ready. I just want to show you what I did with them. Because I wanted this smaller, you may have punches that you could apply this to as well. Okay, so I lined it up like that. And then I've got the best that way. Okay, I went through, did all of those. I won't get rid of those, I'll save those for another project. But let's put those up there. But I wanted to line them on something. So I had, I wonder if I can do it with this. but you come back and just bring that one back and do that. So I'll show you what I'm trying to do. Can you see there, there's a little bit of a green layer underneath there? And that one? I didn't do it on that one. I hadn't thought about it by the time, because I just cut it. I just went with it. Now where's my punch again? Now, because I don't need all of that for that, I just take a piece of cardstock and just take one little piece there and one little piece there. Again, a little bit of economy. As I say, you may have some punches that you can work this with. Just put a little bit there. A little bit there. In fact, that's come out a bit too much on that first one. I can do it on this, can't I? That can go straight in the bin. So that one can go on like that. Then that can go on that one like that. There we go. Alright. If you want to see if you can find somebody who's got one to sell, it's called a window punch. Or window label. No, window punch, not window label. Right. So I have those, and I've also got, again, prepared ahead of time, my flowers. And what did I think I was going to do? I think it's white flowers with a pink centre with green leaves. And then I'm going to put the happy birthday underneath. Birthday wishes. Oh, I didn't mean to do birthday wishes on dimensionals. Never mind. Okay, so happy birthday going on the front. Yep, that's good. Right, so first of all, Tombow. And what I like about these is it's very easy just to close them together if I want to put them like that behind one of my flowers. And on these flowers, in comparison to the other flowers that you've seen me using recently, I've had to go for the smaller ones, otherwise they would not have fitted on. But if I just pinch those together slightly, and then, no, you're doing it the wrong way. Silly Billy, leave that there. Let's try that again. You want to do it on the front. There we go. Now put this at the back. Okay, I'm going to put this at the back here. Oops, I want these all at different angles. So let's put some Tombow. Let's do it more or less in the centre. I think I'm changing this around slightly, aren't I? I think I had the flowers on those ones. Doesn't matter. Tweezers. This is the reason I'm getting in a bit of a mess with my Tombow, is because it is a new one. It's obviously coming out really quite quickly. Okay, so there's that one. Let's do one here. Shall we leave you coming separately? Yes, we'll leave you like that. I should have got my little glue thing that I've got the fine tip with it. Not always the best organised person. Right, put a little bit, looks like pencil line on the back there. Wonder what that was all about. Okay, so where have you gone? I turn you this way, I think. That's gone higher. That's okay. Then the next one I'll bring back down again. Because I can't put gems in here. I don't like putting gems in where there's got like thickness to them. Not on a closed card, especially if it's going to go through the post, because it's going to leave such a dent in the card. We put you together, but we put you on the other side. I wonder if we can put you upside down. Well, not upside down, but leaves on the bottom. I'm sure you knew what I meant there. Right, this has got to go the same level as that one. Oh, I haven't put my third one in. That's because I was distracted because they weren't folding properly. Let me just put this one in. Oh, I wonder if it's maybe I didn't cut high enough on my where they're sticking. I wonder if it's because I haven't cut when I was cutting that little channel bit out. And it's okay now. So this one, just open them all up so I can see them. That's got to come down to that level. Yep, that's good. I'll have one of these. I also found on one of these sets of dies, it's actually got some little stitched hearts, whereas on those other two, where that came from the dog punch, again another retired thing, but I kept it because it's got the heart in it. But on, oh yes, this one, to give it a whirl, it's got little stitched hearts on it. So I've cut some of those out ready, die cut some of those ready. Right, let me have a look, what have we got? Wishes. I could do best wishes there. And then that'll be a little bit different, won't it? Okay, and then with the little hearts, I might scatter some. There we go, need some of these. Is that too big? Oh, not really. In fact, you're going to dry up and give me problems, aren't you? I'm only putting these up on dimensionals because I've already put the sentiment up. I don't do it through choice, really. We do that there. And that there. Should we have one at the top as well? How many did I do? Looks like I've got enough here. Oh, that jumped. There we go, can you see that? I think that looks nice. We'll have just one on here, I think. And then we have two on the, oh, I had three, didn't I, on the first one? Yes, I did. Okay. There we go. Right, let's look at these as I'm doing it. I think I'm going to reverse these around. Oh, I'm really liking this pink. What do you think? I did have to have a look at my recent cards to see what colours I've been using recently, and I do seem to stick to colours like Pale Papaya, Pool Party. There we go. Now I've left those sides blank, but that's okay. There's still a nice little surprise there when somebody opens that up. Okay, so what do we do next? Those I'm going to decorate once we've done this next bit. Now we need to put glue on these pieces. And then we're going to pop this on top. And I prefer to do it like this, so that I've got, this is the front of my card. Okay? Or, yeah, this is the left-hand side of my card, and that's up at the top. So let's put them like this. Gluing these bits, I think it probably is easier to use Tombow, so you've got that little bit of time to manoeuvre. If you don't like using Tombow because you don't think it adheres as well, I don't agree with you, but what you can do to make it stronger, so that if you say, for example, you think that the seal is stronger, if you put seal on first and then put Tombow over it, so that you've got the time to manoeuvre, when Tombow dries, you'll find that the strength is actually coming from your seal. Right, now I'm going to pop this down. Okay, so, oops, they normally slide straight down. And now you need to make sure that these fit on perfectly. Okay, this is why Tombow is so great. Oh, I didn't cut enough off that one, look at that. Okay, so that, keep giving it a squeeze so that Tombow can do its job, or seal, or whatever you're using. Okay, now where's the bit that's wrong? Okay, so this one here, I don't like that that's being, this, oh, this was the word, oh my goodness, there's two of them. Okay, let's do this one first. Notice that I'm tipping my scissors at an angle so that it's cutting the paper and it's cutting it underneath. And can I get on to you as well? There we go. That's a tiny little bit there. Thing is, you know, how fussy do you get with this? There we go, that one's beautiful. Shame I can't do that side. Be patient with it, don't try and just pull it off. Oh, that's better. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm just going to decorate the front as well. I'm going to need happy birthday. Let's do the flowers first, I think. I'm going to do them all the same as before. You can pop these up on dimensionals if you like. Just make sure that when you're putting these on, they don't overlap from one window to the next. Let's put these two really close together. And then turn these at a different angle as well. That's it. And then this one. No, let's leave these two wide apart. Okay, so where do we want the petals to go, the leaves to go on this one? Let's just move that up slightly. That's it. You stay there, go on. That's it. Okay, come down. Yep, okay. I'll put little flowers in the middle. And happy birthday, I'm going to spread out. I'm going to do happy there. Is that crooked? I think it is. Maybe just been me looking at it from here. And there we go. Oh, look at that, what do you think? So now I just need to pop this onto my card. What do you think about the stamping using Versamark? Is it too light for you? Would you prefer to see yours a bit darker? Now I'm going to pop this onto here as well. So now it doesn't matter that this has only got one layer to it. got that though, yes. Just making sure I haven't done it upside down. There we go. And I did have, yes, here they are. Oh, and my arrows. Oh no, where's my little arrows gone? I've got one. Well, I'll look for that later. I'm not going to make you wait for that. But again, what I did was I used my grid paper to get this halfway, which I think was 5 inches, was it? So 2.5. Which is there. And what I'm doing is I'm making sure the point on that side and the point on that side are both on the edge there. That little bit is coming over, but that doesn't matter. And then I'm going to open this up, turn it over, glue all over this. And then pop that on top. I'll find the other white arrow before I do the photographing to pop this onto my blog tomorrow. Okay, the reason I'm not using these ones is because they are curved. I suppose I could, couldn't I? Not a very good reason for not using them. Okay, let's try one of these. Come on, Tombo, just a little bit, please. Alright, that's a lot. Oh, that works just as well. I've got glue over that. I'll have to go back later for my eraser. So there we go. That's today's project. What do you think? I really hope you like it, because I am really very pleased with it. It's like last week's card. I was really pleased with that one as well. So that's okay. And the inside. Oh, I'll put another flower in there as well. Again, you'll see that on the on my blog. Oh, I've forgotten the butterflies. Where are they? I'll put some of those on too. Oh, I've lost them. Oh, here we go. I put some of these little ones on, didn't I? Have I got my... Yep. No, that's not my paper piercer. Here we go. This one. I put a big one and a little one there. I put a big one and a little one over this side somewhere. Can't remember where. I love these. Now these would go alright on the inside of a card because they're really quite flat. Although they might still give an impression, mightn't it? And then I just left one on its own. And then I used these polished dots inside my flowers. And I used, well, these are meant to be Very Vanilla and Calypso Coral. I'm using Very Vanilla. Oops. So there we go. There's today's card. Many thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will put all the measurements and the ingredients in the box below. If you have any questions, comments to make, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always very happy to help you. If you'd like to shop with me, there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below. That's assuming you don't already have a demonstrator that you're working with. And if you do place an order, please remember to use my HOSTESS code during February. If you do that, when I send out Happy Mail at the beginning of March, I will also be able to include some free product for you. Many thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, please take care, stay safe, and of course, happy crafting. Cheerio.